Now at 8 o'clock, we're talking about triple-digit heat throughout the area today, tomorrow, maybe Sunday as well. It's a KGW weather impact alert day, and we've got stretches of heat through next Tuesday. We'll have also details on when things are going to cool down coming up. Plus,
well, first, they're clearly excited, as you've seen. So that's what they've got going for them, but we've got to temper that a little bit.
What could be the hottest hood to coast on record. It kicked off this morning. It continues throughout the day today. We're going to let you know how organizers are helping people deal with the heat. And later,
if you're hiding these individuals, if you're aiding them in any way, I will prosecute you.
the warning from Multnomah County's DA as police continue to search for the suspect accused of killing a Gresham teenager while he was sleeping. Also coming up this hour, multiple evacuation orders are in place because of a new wildfire in Central Oregon. We'll bring you the latest information on the flat fire as we roll into the 8 o'clock hour of sunrise right now. Good morning and thanks for joining us here in the 8 o'clock hour. I'm Drew Carney. We have team covers this morning on this heat situation. We have Thomas Schultz in the t-shirt because he's getting ready to run hood to coast right there. Rod in his shirt and tie talking about those triple-digit temperatures coming to Portland and the surrounding area later today.
Yeah, so a couple of headlines here. Number one, this will be in length double the last heat wave that we had that went 3 days. It's Thursday of next week before we see a day potentially that will not reach 90. And assuming, and I think Portland will, if not 100 today, we will tomorrow. It'll become the hottest temperature that we have seen so far this summer as well. Now the coast will be a bit of an escape from the heat. We are talking some shallow fog. This is Lincoln City, Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. There will be temperatures here get up to 80 or better. Could be mid to upper 80s potentially this afternoon or tomorrow in parts of the beaches as well. Portland right now 65 degrees. The extreme heat warning will start from the Weather Service at 11 o'clock this morning. We'll be mid 80s at noon. Our modeling shows us hitting 90 somewhere between 1 and 1:30 this afternoon at the latest. That would put us on track to get up to 100 degrees, which would be, as I mentioned, the first time this summer we have done that. And whatever we end up with today, I still feel we will be 1 to 2 degrees hotter tomorrow. We'll have that 7-day forecast for you coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Rod. For the second part of our team coverage on this heat, we're going to go back up to Thomas Schultz. He's been on Mount Hood all morning long for the kickoff of this year's Hood to Coast. Thomas, you got to remind me, when exactly are you supposed to start your first leg?
So I'm supposed to start at 8:54, but my teammates were telling me that because we're going downhill, they're going to be a little bit quicker, so more so like 8:30. So we're just getting ready to go, and the sun's just coming up. Now right here, where we're at Rhododendron, it's still pretty warm. It's not hot yet, but it is getting hotter as the sun comes up. Of course, as runners go down elevation, we get later in the afternoon, as Rod just told us, that heat's going to increase. That's something that runners and organizers have all been proactive about. A lot of runners telling us that, look, they're carrying more water, they're making sure that they're prepared today. Organizers also say, if you need to walk, if you need to stop, just do it. There's no reason to run if you're exhausting yourself too much in this heat. They tell us at the end of the day, we're all going to be at Seaside all day tomorrow. There's no need to rush to get there during this race with more than 10,000 runners expected to be here today. There we go, one running right by us right there. Man, that high five hurt. But look, this heat's gonna be something that runners later in the day are gonna have to worry about as they head down to Portland. Right now, those Van 1s are the ones running. Van 2s, those are the runners that are going to have to be more concerned. They're gonna be the ones running more in that afternoon heat as they're going to the coast. This afternoon is gonna be the time frame to be concerned about. Once they reach the coastline, it's going to cool down a bit, but there's water that organizers have put out in the hottest parts of the area. They've also got cool ice packets as well, and of course, just monitor your own well-being. We spoke to Dan Floyd, the organizer, earlier this morning. Here's some more tips he had to share.
Well, first, they're clearly excited, as you've seen. So that's what they've got going for them, but we got to temper that a little bit. Obviously, hydrate now. Don't wait until it's hot. slow the pace. We've been telling people we'll wait. We'll be at the beach all day Saturday. Take your time, have a great time. Talk to people while you're out on your leg. Make sure that they're doing well. If people are struggling, if you're feeling ill, stop. That's it. But hydrate, slow the pace.
Again, just if you're having problems, just stop. It's not worth it, right? Multnomah County has reached out to organizers to confirm that these safety measures are in place, as Dan Floyd just told us there, and it's been telling us all week long. They do have those measures in place. But guys, look, I mean, we're at Rhododendron. We're just right off Timberline. The sun coming up from my left here. It is getting warmer. It's still relatively cool here on Mount Hood, but as Rod has been telling us all week long, it's going to get hotter as we get later in the day.
Thomas, it's really those legs around 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon through Portland that are going to be some of the worst. Of course, beating the heat will not only be a goal for Hood to Coast runners this weekend, it's really going to be a goal for everyone around the area. Health officials say if you don't have air conditioning in your home, you should have some other plan in place to stay cool. Local libraries are always a good spot for people to catch a break from the heat. The main library in Beaverton is extending its hours, and Multnomah County says it may do the same for some of its libraries. Seniors are among the most vulnerable when it comes to heat-related illness, but local health officials say it's really something that everyone should be aware of.
A lot of us maybe don't think of ourselves as vulnerable to heat, but in an event like this where it stays hot at night and where it lasts for days and days, that's when all of us can start to have real vulnerability to heat illness and even death.
Some of the warning signs of heat exhaustion are feeling faint, excessive sweating, nausea, and muscle cramps. Symptoms of heat stroke, meanwhile, include headache, red hot skin, high body temperature, and a rapid pulse. Heat stroke can also be life-threatening, so if you experience these symptoms, definitely take them seriously. We also want to remind you to check in on your neighbors this week, and especially older ones who live alone. We also expect to hear later this morning from Multnomah County on whether or not the county plans to open up any cooling centers. You can get more information about this week's heat wave by texting the word heat to that number on your screen, 503-226-5088. If you do that, we will text you back with a link to a growing list of resources at KGW.com. In other news this morning, the union representing several types of district workers in the Evergreen School District, including paraeducators and bus drivers, has voted to strike. The strike is set for Tuesday. That's also the first day of class next week.
We can't live on what they're offering. I have paras that are working 3 jobs, going to food banks, different things like that. It's not fair that the top keeps getting big raises and we're expected to live on less and less every year.
We reached out to the district and are waiting to hear back, but yesterday officials told us that they plan to continue bargaining and hope to reach a deal before Tuesday. At this point, they basically have one day to get the job done. There's another mediation session planned for Monday, but again, the next day, Tuesday, is supposed to be the first day of school. Evacuation orders are in place, meanwhile, in Jefferson County because of a new wildfire that's growing in central Oregon. We're talking about the Flat Fire that's burning 7 miles west of Culver and southwest of the Lake Billy Chinook area. The latest update has it at an estimated 3,000 acres, with about 24 homes under level 3 go now evacuation orders and another 150 homes under a level 1 or 2. All right, Rod Hill, let's bring you back into the mix here. Rod's in the Weather Center with more on this heat wave.
Yeah, by the way, where Thomas was reporting from in Welch's, it's mid-50s right now. They're kind of in the shade there. It's actually 70 Drew up at Government Camp right now.
Really?
That's really warm at pass level on Mount Hood for 8 o'clock in the morning, but that's what they're reporting. So the warm-up is starting to become rapid in areas that are not protected by the firs of the forest, if you will. Here's one of our Timberline cameras, and this one's looking at the day parking lot, and right there we see the barriers. That's where the runners will be coming down. You can see it's a bit breezy, which I was not expecting this morning. The temperature is what we expected, near 60. It's 61. This shows a wind that would be north-northeast, gusting to about 20 miles per hour up there. And I mentioned the runners find 70-degree temperatures and sun down in Government Camp. The Dalles, good morning to you. Your heat warnings start tomorrow where you will be above 100. You'll either just get up to 100 today or just stay shy. It's really nice, 61. Winds are calm. The wind direction is northeast, which if you think about the terrain of the Cascades, that kind of blocks the wind when you get down through the canyon of the Columbia River. So you folks should have fairly light winds today. Downtown Portland, we're at 65. We are starting now to go up. We were in the low 60s. Northwest winds light at 5. And here are the forecast numbers. Salem 102. If you make it, would equal your hottest temperature so far this summer. Extreme heat warning starts at 11 this morning. Sunny 100-degree heat, obviously northeast winds 5 to 15. Southwest Washington has not hit 100 yet this year, and you could do it in Clark County. This shows Longview, Kelso at 97. Again, wind direction is northeast. Here are the other temperatures statewide. This is one weather model at 5 o'clock. It shows 80s in Tillamook and Astoria, and it shows 90s, generally low to mid 90s in central and eastern areas of our state today. 7-day forecast numbers. We have the KGW impact alert up through Tuesday. We alert for heat when we've got back-to-back or more days in the mid 90s, and that's what we're going to see. I've got Wednesday at 92 and then Thursday at 86. If we're going to hit 100, and I think we will, it'll be today, tomorrow, and maybe Sunday. I still think tomorrow is going to be the hottest of the bunch, whatever those final temperatures end up being. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Rod. Quick traffic look here this morning. We often call Friday light, but traffic is slowing down in 2 spots. You can see that drive in on 26 East from Brookwood Parkway to I-405. Cars down to 41 miles an hour. And I-5 northbound from Wilsonville to the Markham Bridge in downtown Portland. Traffic there only speeding along at 46 miles an hour. So a couple of slow spots to keep an eye on as we move through the morning.
We know it's special. There's not a lot of people that get that group that as large as this that really get to hang out and still stick together for as long as we have been.
This is really one of our coolest stories of the morning. 4 decades, more than 7,500 miles altogether, and this group continues to run hood to coast as a team. We're going to meet the Dirty Half Dozen plus 6 after this.
President Trump is celebrating a legal win in a civil fraud case against him, while in a separate case, the Trump administration is taking a hit in its immigration crackdown. I'm Alice Barr in Washington. Latest details coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to Sunrise. This is a live look now at Mount Hood. Mount Hood, of course, the start line, if you will, for the annual Hood to Coast Relay, which begins today and wraps up tomorrow along the coast. One of the teams that's involved in this year's race has been together for a very long time. As KGW's Alma McCarty explains, when this group reaches the beach in Seaside tomorrow, it will be their 40th time crossing the finish line.
The thing about Hood to Coast, it started as a road race and it became a Northwest culture.
To conquer nearly 200 miles from Mount Hood to Seaside, endurance is a must.
There's really nothing like it. They call it the mother of all relays. That's kind of a great tagline.
But to do it with the same core group of friends for 4 decades requires a different level of dedication. Meet the Dirty Half Dozen plus 6.
And I think at some point we figured, you know, we wouldn't be able to get everybody or enough people back together. But one of the things we always say is we're getting done with the race and packing up or having breakfast the next day. Now, who's in for next year? And every year around the table, everybody's, yeah, I'm in.
It's a tradition that began at Sunset High School.
A lot of it was just our coach, Dave Robbins. He was fantastic. So he was good about making sure everybody was, you know, functioning as a team.
I remember one of the things I didn't want them to do was run Hood to Coast at the end of August because we had practice and we had meets on the 1st of September.
Our parents were a little reluctant, as you can imagine, to let a bunch of 15-year-olds and 14, 15-year-olds go run from Mount Hood down to the coast.
But the Dirty Half Dozen did it anyway, and that first run in 1986 has yet to stop.
We know it's special. There's not a lot of people that get that group that as large as this that really get to hang out and still stick together for as long as we have been.
The team racking up more than 7,500 miles over the years.
Scott Thompson, you're finishing your 100th Hood to Coast leg.
With the original members now hitting major milestones.
100 legs in your 100th leg. Go ET.
All this with an average pace of 6 minutes and 36 seconds per mile.
Last year, we did not run 6:30, and guess who was not running 6:36 this year? This guy, yeah. However, winning, you redefine winning, and winning is finishing your legs, not getting hurt.
Perhaps the greatest win, conquering their 40th Hood to Coast alongside the man who brought them together and inspired it all.
Okay, I'm not trying to blow sunshine, but having this guy on our team who is a huge influence, not just on running, but on life. I mean, you look at our lives, and life is tough. Life happens, and it's good and it's not good, but you kind of go through it. He's never been on our team before. We've always raced against him. We've cursed him. He's cursed us. But this time, he's going to be part of the Dirty Half Dozen plus 6.
Dave joining Eric, John, Travis, Kirk, Todd, Steve, Tom, Scott, John, Jason, and Bill from Timberline Lodge to a photo finish at the beach.
Getting to the end as a team, still liking each other, 12 people, 2 vans, 1 beer garden. I mean, that's panacea.
I'm so impressed that he's embraced the philosophy of running after all these years. He finally gets it. He finally gets it.
Yeah, nice job.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Good for them, right? It is so cool if you think about it, the natural backdrop of running from Mount Hood, Timberline Lodge, 6,000 feet, down into the valley, up over the Coast Range. You end up along the beautiful Oregon coast and Seaside. Very unique to our area. Well, it has been low 60s this morning up at Timberline. Right now it's 61, so that temperature projection was right on the money. We do think it'll be about 85, maybe 86 at noon today. That looks to be on the money. And unfortunately, what the concern is seems to be on the money too. The projection that during the heat of the afternoon, runners will be coming through the North Valley and through the Portland Metro between 98 and 101 degree temperatures, which will be one of the hottest, and maybe by a degree or two, the hottest Hood to Coast ever in terms of what the hot temperatures are the day of the relay through the Portland area. Temperatures could get into the upper 50s over the Coast Range for runners tonight. Certainly will be well down into the 60s. In fact, Seaside at the beach tomorrow, likely in the 50s of 57. It'll be a sunny day in Seaside, 76 degrees. We got temperatures up to 82. Some north winds 10 to 20 potentially at the beach. We have those north winds 10 to 20 happening right now up on Mount Hood, but most of the relay route will see pretty light wind conditions. We are under, or will be under, the extreme heat warning starting at 11 o'clock this morning. And basically what the Weather Service does is if they say you could hit 100, and you do it from time to time, but not very often, so you're not climatized to do so, so it's that much more impactful on your body. Everybody in this pink tone from south Eugene up through Portland into Vancouver. Then the orange areas expected to be well up into the 90s. Cowlitz County, good morning, but not expected to crack 100. This will be a heat warning starting tomorrow for above 100-degree temperatures in Wasco County and other areas out in the gorge. Here is Aspen Lakes Golf Course looking at the Three Sisters over in Central Oregon. That fire burning is just south of the Warm Springs Reservation, so north of this area. Looks to be pretty clear. No thunderstorm threat, we don't think, in Central Oregon until we get into Wednesday, Thursday of next week, by the way. Should be a long stretch of dry. Here's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha with the clear skies, and there are the temperatures. Pick out your city. Portland is at 65 degrees, and here are the 7-day numbers that we've put together. 100 today, 102 tomorrow, 99 Sunday. All of these could be records. Monday at 96 could be a record for the date out at the airport as well. Still mid-90s on Tuesday. After that, 92 and 86 on Thursday. We'll be back in a moment.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back to Sunrise. President Trump is celebrating a courtroom victory that wipes away a massive financial penalty against both the president and his business empire. But the Trump administration is still facing a legal setback when it comes to immigration. Alice Barr has more for us from Washington, D.C.
Well, I just want to thank everybody very much.
This morning, as President Trump celebrates a legal win for his business empire, his administration's immigration crackdown is taking a hit with a federal ruling that could spell the end of the controversial migrant detention center known as Alligator Alcatraz. A Florida judge ruling the center can stay open for now, but cannot accept new detainees or do any construction, and must remove all generators, sewage, and waste receptacles within 60 days, calling into question how it could keep operating. Environmental groups that sued calling it a victory for the Florida Everglades ecosystems. The state of Florida, partnered on the site with the Trump administration, is appealing.
You're doing incredible.
That as President Trump thanked the federal law enforcement and National Guard troops he's deployed on the streets of D.C. to crack down on crime, while celebrating a win in a case against him as a New York appeals court threw out the $500 million judgment he faced after being found liable for civil fraud.
They stole $550 million from me with a fake case, and it was overturned.
The 5-judge panel was divided, with 2 finding President Trump was correctly found guilty of fraud, 2 saying he should receive a new trial, and 1 finding the case should be dismissed. All 5 ruled the penalty was excessive. New York Attorney General Letitia James plans to appeal. In 2022, she accused Mr. Trump and his family real estate business of inflating his net worth to get better loan terms, now highlighting that the ruling that he committed fraud still stands. The ruling leaves in place restrictions on the Trump Organization's ability to do business in New York, and his legal team is expected to keep appealing, while the Justice Department is investigating James for bringing the case and for new allegations she committed mortgage fraud that James's attorney has called political retribution. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Here's a look at some other national and world headlines with your Morning Rush. A United Nations-backed initiative confirms that parts of Gaza are experiencing famine. The report says famine is impacting roughly 500,000 people there. Meanwhile, the Israeli agency in charge of distributing aid into Gaza rejected this report before it was released, saying it ignored information that was provided by Israel. Rescue crews found 6 people dead at a dairy farm in northern Colorado. They were responding to a confined space rescue when they made the discovery, which included a high school student. Investigators believe gas exposure is the cause of death, with no signs of anything criminal. The FBI searched the Washington area home of former National Security Advisor John Bolton this morning. At least 4 agents were seen entering the house as part of a court-authorized national security investigation. Bolton said he was unaware of the search, and the FBI declined to comment. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell hinted that the Fed may cut interest rates soon, but didn't give any real timeline. Powell said the economy faces risks from both inflation and slowing job growth. Markets are hoping for a September cut, while President Trump continues to pressure Powell for faster action. And that's a look at your Morning Rush.
You know, the fair is going to go on regardless of any heat.
Yep, the Oregon State Fair kicks off today in Salem with 100-degree heat in the forecast. Coming up in our next half hour, how fair organizers plan to help people keep safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm Drew Carney. Local health officials say people should have a plan in place to deal with the heat wave that starts today. If you don't have air conditioning, they recommend going to a place that does, like a library. Beaverton has already extended library hours, and Multnomah County says it's considering the same. Warning signs of heat illness include dizziness, nausea, and muscle cramps. Symptoms of heat stroke include headache, rapid pulse, and hot skin. Keep in mind, heat stroke can also be life-threatening. Let's talk more about that forecast. Rod, what do you have for us?
Yeah, well, we have the extreme heat warning that starts at 11 o'clock this morning. And then after that, overnights will be in the 60s, but not as cool as we have been this morning. And daytime highs we think will be mid-90s or better all the way through Wednesday. 65 in Salem right now. We're in the 8 o'clock hour. Temperatures are just starting to go up. 65 in Portland. Could be 20 degrees plus by noon, 85. Could be 90 in that 1:30 half hour. That would put us on track to get up to 100 degrees today, 102 tomorrow, still near 100 degrees on Sunday.
It is a weather impact alert day here at KGW, the first of several KGW weather impact alert days. This is a live look from Drive 8 up there on Mount Hood this morning as runners run alongside there to the right. We have cars trying to get by on the left. Hood to Coast is underway. Definitely one of the biggest events of the year, every year here in Oregon. And this year, it's going to be one of the hottest ones ever. That's why Rod Hood. Whenever I bring up Hood to Coast and then have to go to you, I do change your name from Hill to Hood.
You do, sir.
Rodney Hill.
So we saw the shade. I think that was in the Welch's Rhododendron area. And obviously they're in the shade and they're in the 50s. But we said earlier, it's already 70 at Government Camp. And Portland's going to be 20 degrees warmer by noon than we are right now.
It's 70 up there at this time of the day. Is kind of crazy.
Yes, no doubt. Let's start with the one spot that will escape the heat this weekend, although by coast standards, it's going to be toasty. It'll be sunny all weekend, it now appears. No fog bank threat that I see through the day Sunday. A little shallow fog this morning, but it's clear up top and will be a sunny day. 53 degrees right now. And I think the coast will be anywhere from 75 to 85 on average all the way through the weekend, depending on specific site locations. They get some northeast wind or get a northwest light breeze. Temperatures in Portland currently 65. I mentioned we expect to be about 85 at noon. Looks like we're on track to be nearing 90 at 1 o'clock. And then that would catapult us up to about 100 degrees for an actual high temperature at 5 p.m. If we make it, it'll be the hottest day we've seen so far this year and also a record for today's date. So this is one model. I do think Portland has a good chance to hit 100. This shows 100 at 5 o'clock in Salem and Albany, 98 in the Dalles, where you could be 100 degrees. Low to mid-90s in Central Oregon and generally low to mid-90s out east today. And here come the latest 7-day numbers. We haven't made very many changes from yesterday. 100 today. I still think tomorrow will be hotter than today by a degree or two. So we'll see what we do today. Could be 102 tomorrow. Still 99, maybe 100 on Sunday. The record Sunday is 99. And then still mid-90s. So we keep our red highlight for our KGW impact alert for heat all the way through Tuesday. Wednesday still could be 90. I had 88. I've lifted that to 92. And then we've got Thursday at 86 degrees right now. Next Wednesday and Thursday, by the way, also 2 days that look to see a return of active thunderstorms in Central and Eastern Oregon. That's your forecast for now.
Can I ask you, Rod?
Yeah.
How hot would Wednesday have to get before you make it red as well?
Well, we typically alert for heat in the mid-90s when we've got consecutive days. So I guess the answer to your question would be 94.
All right, there you go. Rod Hill will have more for us coming up in just a few minutes. We're also waiting for an announcement from Multnomah County about whether or not cooling centers will be open and available this weekend. In the meantime, the county has this interactive map on its website showing spots where people can try to cool off. These spots include splash pads and community centers. Meanwhile, on our website, KGW.com, we have a list of places to cool off in other local counties, including Clark, Clackamas, Washington, and Columbia County. As temperatures climb towards those triple digits, we're also talking about day one of the Oregon State Fair. Fair organizers say the fair will go on regardless of how hot it gets. So with that in mind, we bring in Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson. She has more details on all of that for us right now.
That's right, Drew. If you plan to attend, the heat will be most intense around 4 o'clock every day. So it's maybe a good time, or a good idea rather, to plan your visit around that time and keep it in mind. Organizers are encouraging fairgoers to bring and carry water with them to the event. Misting stations are also set up across the grounds. Now, the locations of those stations are plotted on a map that can be picked up at at the front entrance. In addition to keeping people safe, they're also keeping animals in mind, including prize-winning pigs, chickens, and goats. The pavilions are going to offer them plenty of shade, and caretakers have fans and water to keep those animals cool.
And we also are allowing coolers with ice into the fair as well. But just once again, just no open beverages. We also have a lot of first responders on site, so it's not that we're calling people from off site.
Now, organizers encourage people to get to the fair early over the next few days to avoid the hottest parts of the day. But if you happen to come during those peak times, there are some buildings that will offer and be open with AC as well, Drew.
All right, Corey Johnson reporting live for us this morning on all that heat. And we're not done with the coverage. Hood to Coast, the State Fair, two of many events that are happening around the area this weekend, events that will have to deal with that heat. So yesterday we saw people setting up for the Vancouver Wine and Jazz Festival at Esther Short Park. That festival starts today. It runs through Sunday, and the organizers of this event say they're absolutely ready for the hot weather.
We've got watering stations. We got 3 places where they can get water. We got 70 wines you can drink and stay hydrated. So I don't, if it's rain, I worry about rain, but I don't worry about the heat. People love the heat. There's tons of shade out here.
People love the heat? This hot? Come on. So some tips if you are planning to attend the Wine and Jazz Festival. They say bring a hat to help, keep that sun off your face. Some light clothing would definitely be better than heavy clothing. We get that. And they also say even though this is a wine event, they encourage their event goers to drink more water than wine. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is reminding people to wear life jackets if they're trying to stay cool in or on the water this weekend. Research from the Corps last year found that 91% of drowning victims were not wearing life jackets, and 87% of those victims were adults. They also point out that water temps can still be a lot colder this time of the year than the air temperature.
If you're jumping into the water, you can expect kind of a cold shock is what it's known as. And a lot of times that will make you involuntarily breathe in. And so if you're not prepared for that, or if you don't have a life jacket on and you breathe that water in, you might start drowning. And if you don't have a life jacket, it's hard to recover from that.
If you do need a life jacket, there is some help available. The Oregon State Marine Board has multiple life jacket loaner stations. You can find out where they are on the Marine Board's website. For more information about the heat wave that starts today, you can also text the word HEAT to that number on your screen, 503-226-5088. If you do that, we'll text you back with a link to a growing list of resources at KGW.com. In other headlines today, a teenager from Washougal died earlier this week after falling from the Cape Horn Lookout. The lookout is on the Washington side of the gorge right along SR 14, and there's now a makeshift memorial set up at the spot of his fall. The Skamania County Sheriff's Office says the 17-year-old's brother called 911 when it happened, and search teams found the boy's body down the cliffside. His death has been ruled an accident. In Gresham, there's now a $15,000 reward for information that leads to the suspects involved in a shooting that killed a Gresham teenager while he was sleeping. Back in April, Liam Spanley Bailey was hit and killed by a bullet that went through the wall of his father's apartment. Police have named 3 suspects in this case. Investigators say 2 of the 3 had run-ins with police before.
If you're hiding these individuals, if you're aiding them in any way, I will prosecute you. This family, this community deserves justice, and this needs to come to an end with those individuals being brought into custody.
Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers or Gresham Police. ICE Director and White House Border Czar Tom Homan visited Portland. City officials say Homan met with staff at the South Portland ICE facility yesterday. This facility, of course, has been the site of many protests over the last few months. City officials say neither the city nor Portland police had anything to do with coordinating Homan's visit. In a statement, Mayor Keith Wilson reaffirmed Portland's sanctuary city status and promised to continue protecting the immigrant community. With Vancouver's population growing, the city says it's working to keep up with demand at this point. A new report from city staff shows there are 20 underutilized spots downtown that could be used for housing or office space. Here's KGW's Jay Coulter with more.
We wanted to create a blueprint really for the next wave of development in downtown Vancouver.
It's estimated that 40,000 new housing units will be needed in Vancouver in the next 20 years. So Vancouver Economic Prosperity and Housing Director Patrick Quinton says it's vital the city is prepared.
We're expecting a lot of growth over the next 20 years and want to make sure that downtown Vancouver can absorb significant share of that growth in terms of new residents and new jobs.
Quinton's department discovered that around 30% of the land in downtown is either vacant or significantly underutilized. So they've identified 20 sites spanning 32 acres that could house up to 6,500 people.
There are a lot of sites downtown that could accommodate new development, and it could be other sites. It doesn't have to be just these 20 sites, but we feel like those really do, on the face of it, have the most potential.
The idea is the city will start with parcels it already owns, like the ones behind and across from City Hall, as well as over by the library. They would then work with private property owners who would be interested in redevelopment. Quinton says location is everything when it comes to enticing developers.
Really wanted to find the sites that both had the opportunity to accommodate significant development on the site, but also were located near other assets, whether it be located next to hopefully a new I-5 bridge, or located next to other development happening downtown.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
Quick traffic report for you here on a Friday morning. These are the drive times in from Vancouver on I-5 and I-205. You can see from Main Street to I-405, it's pretty slow going right now. Cars only moving at about 37 miles an hour. Definitely a faster pace over on 205 from Patton Parkway to I-84. Cars moving along at about 62 miles an hour.
She wasn't someone that didn't pay attention to her finances. She saved a lot of money throughout life.
A woman's family says they are angry after finding out that a former bank employee stole thousands of dollars from her before she passed away. Coming up, we're going to tell you how this employee got away with this for months.
Hey, I'm Blair Best, and in case you missed it last night on The Story, are headlights just too bright? Well, one Northwest Congresswoman thinks so, and so do many of you. We'll share some of your comments. Watch The Story tonight, live at 6:30 on KGW, or anytime on our TV app, KGW+. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back to Sunrise. A former Wells Fargo bank employee is accused of stealing tens of thousands of dollars from a Gresham woman's bank account. KGW's Devin Haskins spoke to the victim's niece about the theft.
Bernadette Richardson was in her 90s when she passed away 2 years ago.
She was a super sharp woman. She did all of her banking and everything.
That's Bernadette's niece, Leah Derringer.
She wasn't someone that didn't pay attention to her finances. She saved a lot of money throughout life.
After she died, Bernadette's family noticed suspicious activity in her checking account.
So I start looking at all the statements, and the name is repeated over and over and over again.
That name was Brittany McLaughlin. She was an employee at Wells Fargo at the time.
So my aunt had called into Wells Fargo at one point to do some online banking, and this person had actually just stolen her information at that time.
Over several months in 2023, McLaughlin used the account to pay off several bills. Take, for instance, this April 2023 banking statement. 19 payments were made from as small as $5 to $2,400, totaling over $8,000 in this single month. Each one has Brittany's name next to it.
Multiple different like car payments, insurance payments, different like phone bills, electric payments somewhere in the South, like for electric bills, PayPal transactions, cash transactions.
Derringer said McLaughlin withdrew around $26,000 total.
So to find out that someone had taken this money from someone who's older that just took advantage of them, and it's horrific.
They called Wells Fargo, which closed the account and froze it. The family called police. McLaughlin now faces 20 counts of theft and identity theft.
This is just us. So my thought is, if she stole this from just my aunt, who knows? Who knows?
Again, that was Devin Haskins reporting for us this morning. Now, there is more to the story. Just a couple of other notes we want to share with you. The family says the bank has reimbursed about half the missing funds. In a statement, Wells Fargo says it's cooperating with the investigation and reviewing the family's concerns. Meanwhile, McLaughlin has not worked for the bank since 2022, and there's a warrant out for her arrest. All right, with that, we are going to take another look at the Hood to Coast race course this morning. Sunrise photographer Eric Patterson is set up there. This is basically in zigzag. If you're not familiar, that's between Welch's and Rhododendron. And I'm told that Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz, not that guy, but Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz just ran past our camera maybe 30 seconds ago, so we just missed Thomas running past this spot. He's one of thousands of runners, of course, participating in this year's event. We could probably try to track down Thomas, but what we really need to do is get back to this morning's top story.
Thomas is already to the coast range, we understand. He's
Yeah, right.
really fast, man.
He's cooking.
He's setting the pace.
So regardless if you're running hood to coast or whatever you're doing this weekend, you are dealing with extreme heat.
Yeah, and we even mentioned the Mount Hood organizers. We had them on our show, the Hood to Coast organizers, I should say, saying that they're telling runners, if you're out and you're feeling especially fatigued due to the heat, just stop. Nothing is worth it. And that goes for whatever you're doing this afternoon in the heat of the day. So stop, get some cooling, at the very least shade, drink some water, hydrate, et cetera, et cetera. The extreme heat warning from our friends at the Weather Service starts at 11 o'clock this morning. And basically it's all these areas in pink where temperatures could hit 100 degrees from Cottage Grove all the way up into Portland, all the way up to Vancouver. To be upper 90s, we think, in Cowlitz County. Could be 100 degrees out in Hood River today as well. This is what we're looking to put together with this extreme batch of heat. This heat wave goes a week for the most part in terms of being 90 or better. Portland, 6 days of 90 or better. Yeah, possible 100-degree temperatures today, tomorrow, and Sunday, the hottest of the bunch. And I think the hottest day is still going to be tomorrow. What I thought yesterday. Record highs in play for Portland, site-specific, individual date records. Today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. Not much wind overnight. Temperatures will drop into the 60s, but there won't be a lot of wind to blow the air in through your screen windows if you don't have ACs. So it's going to be staying pretty toasty indoors. Coast will be sunny, and there will be 80-degree temperatures throughout the weekend. Here's the camera at the Channel House that sits right on the harbor there in beautiful Depot Bay, one of my favorite spots along the coast. There's 101, there's downtown, it's sunny. Depot Bay could hit 80 degrees this afternoon. Here's our state capital on track to hit 100 degrees or maybe a little bit better today. 65 currently. Portland clear. Temperature out at the airport is also 65 degrees. It's still in the 40s out in Baker City, where you will warm up to at least 90 degrees this afternoon, it looks like. Mid-50s at the beach. Again, temperatures there anywhere from mid-70s to mid-80s on average. And this shows that range. Newport 75 today, Astoria 85. North-northeast will be the wind direction today and tomorrow. More of north-northwest on Sunday. Most of us will see light winds, but the coast will see some 20-mile-per-hour breezes bounce, especially in the afternoon. Valley numbers, this weather model likes 102 in McMinnville, and 102 in Salem, and 101 in Corvallis. It likes 97 in Longview, 100, 101 in Clark County, as you can see, Battleground in Vancouver. I've got Portland at 100 today, 102 tomorrow, 99 Sunday. Still mid-90s with the KGW impact alert for heat all the way into Tuesday. Projecting 90 or a little bit warmer on Wednesday. And then finally, a day in the 80s on Thursday. That's the forecast now. It is birthday time. Drew Carney can relate to this. We start off with twins.
Oh, yeah.
Irene and Ruby, 5 today. Happy birthday to you. It's gonna be a fun day, I'm sure. Cassius is 8. Hope you have a great birthday with your family and friends. Hope you get whatever you want. Bailey is now double digits, 10. Happy birthday to you. Great picture. And there's Blake in Beaverton, who's now 12. Hope you have a fun Friday today. Good day for a pool party, I guess. Austin is now a teenager, 13. Happy birthday to you. And this is our smoocheroo photo of the day. Blake's getting a kiss on this side, on that side. I'm assuming that's family. 75 years young today. Happy birthday to you. Birthday's at KGW.com, and we will celebrate with you.
Don't you just hate it, Rob, when they're coming at you from all sides like that?
Yeah, I hate that.
All right, hey, final week for this year's KGW School Supply Drive. We have 7 days left for you to help us out. You can drop off supplies like pencils, crayons, and glue sticks at any local On Point Community Credit Union branch or any Rick's Custom Fencing location. A big thanks to On Point and Rick's and Safeway for stepping up this year to be our partners in the School Supply Drive. Also this week, Windermere Real Estate is matching the first $5,000 donated to the drive. So this week is another great week to give. You can donate cash at kgw.com/school.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Here's a quick recap of some of this morning's top local stories. A group of workers in Vancouver's Evergreen School District, including paraeducators and bus drivers, has voted in favor of going on strike. That strike is set for Tuesday, which, great timing, is also the first day of classes for Evergreen Schools. So yesterday, district officials told us they plan to continue bargaining. There's a mediation session set for Monday, and they still hope to reach a deal before Tuesday. White House border czar Tom Homan met with staff at the South Portland ICE facility yesterday. That facility has been the site of protests for months. City officials say neither the city nor Portland police had anything to do with coordinating Homan's visit. In response to that visit, Mayor Keith Wilson denounced ICE tactics and reaffirmed Portland's sanctuary city status. We also have an update for you on a new wildfire that has forced evacuation orders in Jefferson County over in Central Oregon. This is the Flat Fire, which has grown significantly overnight from 500 acres to over 3,000 acres. It's burning southwest of the popular Lake Billy Chinook area. There's about 24 homes under level 3 go now evacuation orders and another 150 homes under either a level 1 or level 2 order.
Yeah, big concern there with the rapid drying of the vegetation due to the heat that we're looking at. in the coming days. That is the only large wildfire burning in the state of Oregon currently. Well, here's the 7-day. Everything in red is a heat impact alert from KGW for mid-90s or above. We've got 100 today, then 102, 99, 96, 96. Wednesday, 92. Thursday, 86. Good grief. Could be 90, Drew, in the 1 o'clock hour this afternoon, sir.
90 by 1 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, speaking of the hot temperatures, we know that the runners that are taking part in Hood to Coast have that top of mind. And there's I'm going to say our favorite runner in the race. Sorry to everyone else, but that's my main man, Thomas Schultz. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz. Yes, Rod?
Well, I like whoever's the fastest. I haven't met them.
You're always
I'll put Thomas number 2.
You're always front running, Rod.
Well, of course.
I go with my heart, and my heart is with Tommy. Time trial Thomas. So that's Eric Patterson behind the wheel of Drive 8, tracking Thomas's run. I think he's the third leg for his team, which took off early this morning from Mount Hood. Of course, if you're familiar with the area, the Hood to Coast race goes all the way from Timberline Lodge down to the beach and seaside. Oh, he's passing somebody.
But he's getting passed by cars. Come on, Thomas.
Oh my gosh, Rod. You are a hard man to please. Let's get back to the heat, though. We're talking about this afternoon, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, when runners are running through downtown Portland. That's when things are going to be at their worst.
And for running for whatever, we had the organizers of the Hood to Coast Relay say they're telling people, if you're just getting too exhausted during the heat of the afternoon when you're running through the Willamette Valley or wherever, just stop. Nothing's worth it. It's important to say, hey, I'm going to be outside at 2 today. Start hydrating before you go. Have water with you. And pretty constantly be taking a sip of that to keep your body hydrated. And by all means, if you get exhausted, I'm assuming your boss will understand it's not worth it. Just take a break until you feel better and get some cooling. We are looking at 60s overnight, but there's not going to be much of a breeze to blow that cooler air in through the screens into people's homes that don't have AC.
All right, we thank you for watching us on the Sunrise Show this morning. The Friday edition is all said and done, but we hope to see you back here Monday morning for our next edition of Sunrise starting at 5 a.m.